What's up everybody, how's it going? It's Burke, aka Dansweight here, and welcome back to another premiere episode of the Final Fantasy X Masters mod by Karifean. Please remember to hit the like button and show the video some love, and I hope you guys have plenty of fun in the chat. Let's get going with this week's episode. But we're going to have a big decision to make with those warp spheres. Did we get any money? I think we got some money, which was nice. Alright, back to the airship. Okay, let's put a new save in. I think it was worth it, like the slow proof and stone proof combination was kind of nice. It wasn't super costly to make. Alright, here we go. Now, I keep saying there's times where I'm like, I really wish Riku was able to do some damage. I keep saying it again and again. I don't know if that means it's time to just get her over to somewhere else. Like literally start her off with Flare or some shit. Well, I guess I missed the double cast for her. I didn't give her the double cast, so I could maybe... Obviously she'd be there, but then she wouldn't be able to go and get anything. Well, she could get Ultima. Could get Ultima. It's a bit tough because Yuna's like close to Ultima but not quite there. As you can see, I've definitely been utilizing the magic, so I don't know. I think Waka for now, he's okay. But I guess maybe purple spheres, I'll kind of keep that in mind. Won't move him just yet. Spell. Yeah, another character having Reflect, I think. It's going to be the bare minimum, like 2 that can do it. That's good. Yuna. Ooh, she can get there. Huge. I need to check these purple spheres again, I think which ones are available and stuff. I'm just going to move Tidus here. What is this? Reflex. Okay, he's hit another tier of agility, at least. That's good. Well, not that useful for him, but honestly, I might buy a Fortune Sphere for him. And Lulu, I think for now we'll take this. Keep him more agility, more HP, and some of that. Yeah, so Riku's a bit of a decision. Waka and Yuna for purple sphere. So we're going to head back to Besaid again first. We really got to be careful with our Gil at this stage. Whoops. It's pretty crucial. So let's turn those encounters off. We saw what happened when you didn't. I just feel like the difference between the weapon drops and the armor drops are a bit too big. I think that's one thing I'll generally talk to Karifean about. I guess obviously I think part of the reason he's done that is because he really wants people to think hard about weapon customization and come up with their own best ideas and stuff, but you could argue the same for armors, and we literally get break damage limit on armors, And the weapons don't even give you a break HP limit or, I don't know, life preserver or something like that. Like, I've not really seen it at all. So I don't like the disparity there because these fights are very hard. And so I think they're not ones that players will legitimately want to refarm to get better stuff. And so just giving this, I'm not sure. I'm sure Karifean obviously thought a lot about it, and he probably has arguments for why Lightning Eater is a good thing to have. And it's actually much more valuable than you think and blah blah blah, but I'm not so sure. Like, for me, compared to, say, this, just getting like a Lightning Eater weapon, I'm not sure that's great. Let's take another look. Ah. Yeah, I guess this is a... If you needed to do it the other way around, for whatever reason, you could have probably brought one or two of those. Well, weapons that have slow proof. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I didn't consider these, but I didn't exactly have a ton of money either, so it's fine. Come on. Right. I mean, Fortune Sphere is still 4,000. So I think the first thing I'll spend some gil on is... Whoa, easy. Is a Fortune Sphere. Because I feel like, since I only have 3 physical attackers, that the others really cannot do much in the way of physical damage. If Auron misses all the time, it's all kind of pointless, so I really need him to be able to make these hits. So, we'll give him that. So it brings him up to 29 luck. Might give him a chance, at least against some of them. Now, next up... Yeah, when it comes to Dark Yojimbo, we're kind of really at the mercy of these defense stats. They're really bad. I think Waka might increasingly have more and more of a role to play in this post-game. Like, I could put another defense node in for him here, and then he grabs another defense here. More HP, and he's starting to get tankier and tankier. So he could be a good option. His agility is starting to improve as well. It's definitely much better. So... Oof. It's like an extra 6,000. And obviously only Waka benefits from it. But... yeah, Riku's HP and defense combination is looking pretty bad at this stage. She's kind of on the limit, I think, of what she can handle. She's going to get wiped out a lot more. Yuna's HP, I think, is keeping her honest. She literally has an extra 1,200 HP, so her defense is very bad, but I think we kind of live with that for now. Can't do too much. That's why I'm like, I wonder if Waka's a good option here. Either that or Lulu. For characters that obviously I want to use as my damage-dealing powerhouses, the longer I can keep them alive, the better. But... yeah, Waka's got the higher HP to kind of make up for it. So I think I'm not going to buy any more purples for now. Honestly, if Auron was near an empty node, I probably would have given him another luck node. And he's not going to be near one for a while. So we'll kind of have to see. I at least wanted to come down to about here. Because there's more HP in it for him. And some more strength. And some more... like, this little bit is quite nice. I wanted to keep that. For Riku... she's the one that's just like a really tough decision for me. I feel like there's been too many times where, because she is so quick, she always has that extra opportunity to act and to do something. And when I want to deal damage with those situations, I can't do it. I just don't have the thing. So do I move her down to this part of the grid as well and just start to do a bit of this? Maybe. But Ultima's quite tempting as well. At least like if an enemy has reflect, or if I have to put reflect on, at least I don't have to deal with any of that crap. And maybe I make her a secondary weapon. There's more of a half MP cost type weapon. So she can reel off some ultimas if needed. I mean, her magic is all the way up at 74 now. It's almost as high as Lulu's, so... She's not going to get much agility anytime soon along this bit, so Dispel and Reflect Kimari's already learned at this stage. So I think Riku definitely has to move. But where is the question? So this is one idea. This is just because she'll at least be able to get a powerful spell that she can use that's a bit quicker. Well, it's not exactly quick, but I think it's quicker than Ultima, right? And this block does have some nice stats. She'll get 800 more HP as a result of hanging out on this bit. So, and some more MP. So that's option A, but it would take a white magic sphere and a return sphere to do. So that's one. Two is that we basically warp, I think, to say Ultima. I always forget where it is there. I mean, there are some HP nodes there too, honestly. I think Ultima might be the move. And then maybe we get to somehow double cast as well. And while there is a little bit of agility in these parts as well, I think maybe this is a good move. I think she needs to get out of that section. And there are some good stats around Ultima, as there should be. So I'll probably start here so I can grab the magic as well. I'm honestly convinced that there's a strong chance that some kind of Ultima strategy could work well against Penance. So thinking ahead as well, you've also got the Dark Magus Sisters that are probably going to have to be fought together. So at least having someone with Ultima I think is going to be a good move here. So I'm going to commit to that. Use one of our warp spheres here. We're going to need lots of MP. But at least now, if we double our MP, it's going to start to be quite a lot. And this is a nice little block to pick up some stats before the next Dark Aeon as well. Okay. So it takes her over 4,000. And Waka... I think for Waka, I'll hold off for a second. I think it's time to revisit Dark Yojimbo and have a look as well. And at least now we have 2 Ultimas. I was going to say, did we have something like a Friend Sphere or a Black Magic Sphere? We didn't. But if you held on to them up until now, you'll be able to get some serious reward. So that takes her over 5,000 HP, which is actually kind of nice. Only 146 MP though, interestingly enough. Okay. So I think that's where we'll leave it for now. Yeah, Riku has 228 MP. Holy crap. Nice. So, I think next I still want to have a rematch with Dark Yojimbo because I can beat him so many times back to back. I don't know if in this mod I have a feeling that there's a chance that he doesn't really drop anything useful so that players don't farm him. Because let's just say he drops like a really good weapon or an armor or really good items, then it turns into a grinding mod because then you can obviously grind out wins against Dark Yojimbo and improve your inventory. So I think probably only Battle 5 gives you something. I would definitely not be surprised if that was the case.
May I help you?
Okay. Let's have another look here. I kind of feel like I always need some. I mean, I only used because we have 5 battles back to back, it's another one of those where I'm just like, how the hell do I heal?
Thank you.
I mean, either we're going to have to start doing wacky shit, like we're going to really start to make use of these weapons that he's given us, like this one, and we use these as healing weapons. Maybe that's kind of the master plan here. Because you don't need break damage limit on these, you literally can do... Yeah, we can experiment with this, but maybe that's the route we need to go here. So I'm not going to spend any more money on our bed potions. We're definitely going to need them, but for now at least, let's just get back out there. Have another look at this Dark Yojimbo situation. Yeah, I was ready to dedicate this entire session only to Omega and probably fail. So I'm kind of ahead of schedule here, so it gives me some time to mess around with Dark Yojimbo before wrapping up. Okay. Let's have another look. I think we need to start finding out if evade encounter is going to help our cause here, so I'm going to get the boys out to start. So... forget this stuff for now. We literally, in this fight at least, we don't have enough turns to smack ourselves anyway. Like, it's just not going to be a thing. So, going to have to try and really, I think, benefit from a lot of counter-attacks and such. So everyone can counter-attack here. Something... agility is pretty stunted, but I think for that reason it's probably not going to work. I mean, he literally talks about double cast being important. Let's swap Lulu in instead. This might be a bit of a SOS Haste fight, and we have to spend our fight in SOS Haste. Yeah, I guess maybe because of that whole speed element, maybe it's just better to do it like this. Because obviously the problem is twofold. On the one hand, we need to potentially dodge some attacks if we can. But on the other, we need to do enough damage to not see Zanmato. So I'm wondering if it's a good idea to go in with like some kind of SOS Haste. Maybe we really just go to town and blast them out. We try. Yeah, so let's exit, come back in. This is one of those where if I can survive the first like 3-4 turns of the fight consistently, then I'm going to start to find my way. Alright, let's do it. Back to Dark Yojimbo we go. Alright, Titus. That's it first. Okay. So now we're going to double cast. I forgot if Yojimbo was weak to anything. Let me... I did take a photo of Dark Yojimbo, I'm pretty sure. Let me pull this up. Weak to lightning. Ah, shit. It's the second one, it's my bad. Yeah, I forgot that he's got very good protection. But we can put brakes on, so it's good to note. I have a feeling this is a good fight to come in on SOS HP with, honestly. Yeah, just unclear at what point we're able to kind of buff before any of that happens. We just don't have the speed. So it does feel like you need SOS Haste or something along those lines to give yourself a chance. Might be a bit of a like SOS Haste juggling fight where you kind of let yourself get brought back down to that level. Does anyone have an SOS Haste just so we can mess around a bit and test a few things? She does. Obviously, Tidus having SOS Haste and First Strike might be nice. Obviously, I started using my Chocobo Feathers thinking I probably won't use SOS Haste at this stage. I can still make one. Okay. I don't think I'll use this save file, but this is where we're in like full testing mode here. Let me just save over my most recent. I just want to customize the SOS Haste and start with First Strike and stuff and just have a look at what starts happening in that situation. So this one, SOS Haste. Yeah, the only trouble with this thing is I'd have to come into the fight with SOS Haste. So I'd need to do this, like, how would I do this legitimately? What would be the best way? The enemies around here are a little bit too hard to kind of do it safely, because I still need to make sure I win. And I wouldn't be able to touch a save sphere afterwards, so I'd want to come in with, like, the SOS situation and keep my HP. And keep my MP, sorry. So, I think Makalani is probably, like, low enough level to do it. Let's just see. This bit doesn't have encounters. Or does it? Yeah, it does. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. There we go. So we have our two SOS people in SOS Haste. Ah, but she's got SOS Regen. Kind of funny to come back to these guys, actually. Okay, let's get rid of that. Now we have to run all the way back. Yeah, so it's definitely a little bit tedious to set up, but it's definitely possible to obviously come in with SOS Haste. I mean, you can pull a few tricks like that to make it happen. Let's put unit in. Basically, I might try swapping Auron in and Sentineling immediately from the first turn. And seeing what happens then. So, time to have a look at what SOS Haste can do for us in this fight. So sure as shit I'm doing auto haste. So the idea here is to bring in Auron. And then say... Yeah, I think everyone needs to be in SOS Haste for it to kind of have a chance of working. Yeah, it's all just so fast. Like, there's already 2 attacks you have to deal with. So it's just literally figuring out this kind of intro puzzle. And then once you do, you'll probably be able to get going. Like, you'll catch a rhythm and you'll be fine. But the haste is nice, but obviously because you're going to start to find SOS, then you're going to die from the moves that you begin with. So then you'd need to have a sentinel. And then that also doesn't really work. This is just a lot of damage. Damn, he still can't connect. Now, the fact that he managed to... The counterattack increasing the thing, like the overdrive gauge, is actually quite interesting. Yeah, but the trouble is, like, now we just have Wakizashi. And so I fail to see how we survive Wakizashi. Either we go for like a triple counter-attacking idea here, and we fill up the gauge only with counter-attack, so you win the fight only using counters. Maybe that's the thing. Yeah, that would be okay if it used Wakizashi every turn, but it doesn't, obviously, so... Yeah, it's going to take some time to figure this puzzle out. Yeah, even with Protect, Waka's dying from Kozuka, so that's not a good sign. Okay. And well, he also couldn't evade and counter Kozuka, which was a big problem. Like, he couldn't evade it. I guess he can counter it if he survives, but he couldn't evade it. Yeah, that's trouble. Not even sure where to start. But as I say, it just feels like it has a strong level check vibe, where if you're just not surviving, then it just doesn't matter. Different approach. We need to immediately start the fight with breaks. Like, immediately. But then, it probably still turns into a little bit of an RNG fight, because I'm sure there's a chance of connecting a hit on Yojimbo, but it's probably not very consistent at all. Like, I think Orin has a better chance of hitting than Riku does. 56, 27... Maybe Riku does have a slightly better chance. Yeah, so I think a lot of this fight is going to stem from getting an immediate break. Well, honestly, I guess we don't need a full break immediately, we just need a power break. Which Waka does have. That could already make things a bit more interesting, so... Let's start cooking. You know what they say about when a man is cooking. You just gotta let him cook. So it seems like there's multiple ways to go about this. I do feel like the counter-attack route might be an interesting one. Or we go the double fast route. Okay, so... I just want to see what happens when you immediately try and put a power break on there. I think Waka could still definitely miss. But let's just start with this and see what happens. Okay, he makes the hit. That's a good start. Yeah. That's what I mean by level check. It was actually very close, I think. We just about died. So even power broken, that's rough. But normally it's Kozuka first, no? When it's power broken, he counters with a Wakizashi. Maybe it said it in the scan text and I didn't see it. Let me have a look. Counters with Wakizashi if hit while his overdrive is full, of course. Yep, so we're gonna let him have his first Kozuka. Forgot that part. Just like toggling that on and off every time is just a pain. And well, again, the problem is we're going to have a bunch of breaks because of Kozuka, which we can't avoid. Well, maybe we can. Basically, if we do attack him while his overdrive gauge is full, then we never see Kozuka. So that might be a bit of a mentality that we could have. So we'll see. It's a lot to think about in this one. So, gonna keep trying different things until I find the right opening here. I always say it, but it really reminds me of chess. It's just kind of like looking for the right... Why does Waka only have 4,075? What? I need to have another look at that. I didn't realize. Oh, it's because we had the Chimera fight that we didn't heal from. Right, Kozuka does 4,300, that's what I wanted to check. Because I knew Oren could survive the Wakizashi from there. Okay. Getting closer here. Alright, here we go. Kozuka on Titus. Fine. That's not so bad because he wouldn't have got his turn for a while yet anyway. Now, we bring in Power Break. What about Quick Pockets? It's not quick enough. Maybe I leave Riku in SOS Haste, honestly, and she can kind of swap in with Quick Pockets and then maybe swap back out. Kind of use her like that. Just need Waka to survive the Wakizashi here to kind of... From here, I need to survive Wakizashi. Or Dokusashi or whatever. Okay, this time I did. So, let's make a note here. We have to deal with Poison and Zombie. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we absolutely need these 2 turns. So, hold on. It was Kozuka, Dokusashi, and then we got one more. Okay. Quick Pock is never quick enough. Kozuka again. $4,900. Yeah, the numbers are obscene. It's just so fast as well. You can't like spend the fine SOS Haste because you'd just be too slow. Because you'd just be too weak and need to heal constantly. So we found a way to survive the first move. That's how far we've got so far. Just curious to see how an Aeon handles this. Fight's over anyway. Let's just see what we can do. Unholy Samurai. Let's see how many turns Anima can actually survive here. Maybe we need to teach the Aeon full break, honestly. The Aeons probably wouldn't miss. But again, just very slow. It's just so relentless, like you have to catch that rhythm, otherwise you're screwed. Okay. So that's officially the longest we've survived. Even with like a summon and power breaking and all that jazz. So that's not great. Okay. So I think what I will do at this stage, I'll start to use stuff like Far Plane just to get Riku down to 1 HP here. Like, with this one, I can't even find a way in. Like, even Omega Weapon, after, like, a few things, you start to build your way into the fight. Like, this one, I'm not seeing anything yet. Because, I mean, Kazuka's coming again next already. So, what are you supposed to do? You're just never going to be fast enough. What about Delay Buster? I'm gonna miss, so it's not gonna matter, is it? actually made a hit. So delay buster. Yeah, but then it's immediately back. It's just so fast. Even with quick pockets, you can't get in. Is it a Zanmato that removes auto life? Let's have a look. It doesn't. But then obviously you're never going to get the next turn, so it doesn't really matter. Interesting to note, but in terms of like how would it affect the fight, I don't think it makes any difference. You'd have to be like supremely fast, have really, really good agility, which even Riku as the quickest one there, she didn't even get a turn, so I don't think it helps. So, how shall we do this? So, things we have that can work are Delay Buster. If it hits, we have SOS or Auto Haste. We have Double Cast. We have Quick Hit, I guess. But that's kind of in the same category as just using a Lancet or something, so it's not that useful, I feel. We have the ability to charge quick overdrives. And one has to wonder, Lulu's overdrive, multi-hit, how does it work? We have First Strike, but it would come at the expense of Auto Haste, which has been the age-old problem. Yeah. Seems like counter-attack, yes it works for Kazuka, but other than that, it's like you have to survive it in the first place. This stage, obviously wondering if we start to build this one up and we sacrifice, like we have our first Auto Haste, we put Auto Haste and Ribbon on there for starters. And the fact that she has death protection, normally I don't think Ribbon protects it against death. Did it? I always forget that one. I feel like that's one of those details that a lot of people miss. I think it does. There was just something that Ribbon didn't protect against that a lot of people don't remember. Yeah, okay, except instant death, power break, armor break, magic break, curse, delay, inject. So this would mean that theoretically, if you put, it's going to be another save we don't really end up using here, but I'm just going to run it through. So we have our first Auto Haste. This is just a test file, we're not going to probably use this. We have Ribbon. And we have Energy Preserver. That makes Riku, in that sense, because she has death proof on the current weapon that she has, it makes her fairly indestructible in that sense. The final slot, I don't know what I'd use it for at this stage. But like that combination is pretty hardcore. You could, for example, use Auto Phoenix. But that would mean she'd have to survive kinda everything. Yeah, trying to see if I can make use of Delay Buster. That's a skill I would have liked to have had. Where is it? It's all the way over here. Honestly, not a bad place for Waka to hang out. Let's have a look. Maybe this is where I use my second Warp Sphere. Warp him, like, here. Yeah, I'm going to give it a go. Then maybe back up through Tidus's grid, honestly. So it's my 2 warp spheres committed to at this stage. There's a million and one things you could have used those for, honestly. Possibilities are kind of a bit endless. But his strength is up to 88 now, so Waka's really coming along here. I'm not going to save over this one, for sure. So... yeah, I think that's how I'm going to try and do it. I'm going to start with Tidus, swap in Riku, who's already going to be hasted up, and then she'll use a Chocobo Wing or a Haste Score or something. And then on the next round of turns, I've got 2 characters that can use a Delay Buster. So I think one character, because it's a high rank move, if you have one character using it, then you could be in trouble. But if you have 2 characters that could use it, it could start to become a very dangerous tool. So I want to experiment with it a little bit. This one has probably been the most puzzle-like out of all of them so far. Like the beginning of this is really like some kind of chess game where you have to figure out like an opening that can get you into the mid-game kind of thing. I sound like I play a lot of chess or something. I don't, but I did have a little phase where I started watching it thanks to Queen's Gambit on Netflix. Just like a random little interlude while we watched this scene. But yeah, I really enjoyed that show, and then I did binge like some real-world chess content for a while. I used to like play just recreationally a little bit as a kid just for fun, but never like on any kind of regular level or anything like that. Okay. So this is the kind of the Delay Buster series here. So Riku with her SOS Haste comes in, and she tosses Chocobo Wing. Someone's going to die here anyway, but we kind of just deal with it, whoever that's going to be. It's Riku. Okay. So this is the stage where the Delay Busters come in. So Waka first, Delay Buster. Okay, wait. Did he miss? I guess the delay from it is so big if you're not hasted up yourself that right now it kind of has a negative effect. That's kind of funny. So if you look at the situation now, it's going to be Tidus, boss, Tidus, and then you delay Buster, and suddenly the boss gets more turns after being delayed. Doesn't make sense, right? So a lot of it kind of hinges on how fast you are to start with. You need to already be hasted up. So I think I might swap my approach here. Put Waka and Tidus as the ones to be hasted by Riku instead. Now, obviously the problem is if it's 5 fights in a row like this, I can't toss the Chocobo Feather every single time, but I think it's worth experimenting with this idea a little bit first. Yeah, okay. So last time I kind of did it a bit wastefully. I'm going to do it like this time. Can still get to Delay Buster, I think. I'm just 1 short. I'm 1 sphere level short. But I could have saved myself a warp sphere. Ugh. Damn it. Fine, screw it. We'll just do what we did last time. I don't even think this is going to work, so it's fine. We start off here. But of course the first time I tried this he missed. The joke. Okay. Okay, here we go. So I'm continuing to try and find like some kind of opening gambit. It's been a little while, and there's definitely been a lot of fails, but I'm starting to kind of zone in on some stuff that I think might have a chance of working. Yeah, that Kazuka definitely seems to be random, and that was a bit of a bad result there. So I think that kind of already messes things up a little bit. Delay Buster, yeah. I think unfortunately Waka doesn't have the agility to make Delay Buster a nice move. Yeah, so when Tidus does it, you can see the benefit, but when Waka does it, so sticking to my guns here, I haven't yet been able to properly execute this plan. Like again, something's kind of gone wrong every time. Bringing Riku in with 1 HP is not a good idea because then the Doom Goro attack can kill her. So I need to make sure she's got at least enough to survive that move. In my previous attempt, she got hit by that instead of Kozuka, and it's kind of she got needlessly KO'd. So I'm still trying to look to see if I can really kind of exploit Delay Buster to keep pace in the fight. If you can't use fast moves, then you can use moves that delay the enemy, right? I just want to see if I can do some kind of like 1-2 punch with Tidus and Waka where they're both just like using that move and going at Yojimbo. And then firing off like double cast when I can. And then ultimately bringing in Auron for Sentinel cover. For Kozuka. If that stuff doesn't work, I'm going to start looking into like, honestly, auto haste. I might start setting up Riku with the ultimate armor at this stage. I mean, we are getting closer and closer to the end of the game here, so maybe it's not the worst idea in the world to start investigating that. She is the only one who has 4 free slots, so okay, not the greatest outcome of all time. What if I delay Buster now? Yeah. Down. Hasker. And then we're going to delay Buster again. I think I'm implementing this wrong because Waka's got so many Buster moves and I've been so used to using the other ones. I think I'm using Dark Buster. I'm seeing like D Buster. And I'm just kind of not looking properly. But I think it's working. I think you're starting to see how that can start to, like, the second delay buster that I got in there. It looked like it really started to shift things along. Okay, so at this stage, it's probably been about half an hour of screwing around and trying, like, some different setups. I think I'm slowly getting onto something. I just need to nail this kind of opening gambit, and then we'll see if we can kind of continue it forward. So I've been leaning towards trying to have 2 delay busters in there because we're going to have to repeat this fight 5 times. And so if I can find something that obviously works more consistently, that'd be good, because I assume he's not going to become immune to delay. That'd be really mean if that happens, but for now at least I have to assume it won't. But it's a case of like trying to implement that strategy correctly. So we'll see what we do. Alright, here we go. Starting to work towards something that has a chance of working. I'm still not convinced at all, but I've been kind of going down this path for the last like 15-20 minutes just investigating. Let's see if I can make something work. The idea is to kind of almost stun lock it using Delay Buster. That's basically what I want to try and do. So we'll start with this. As powerful as I hoped. Wow. Even then, Titus doesn't get in. Shit. Okay. In any case, let's double cast. Yeah, we haven't power broken though. So I think it's not going to work. There's just too many things you need to do right at the start of the fight. That's what I've been struggling with. And that's going to bring her within death range. Yep. So the Dokuzashi ended up getting her killed. Now, one thing I want to make sure of here is if we get zombified, this shit doesn't work, does it? So right now, after this, it should be... Let's see. It does work. I just wondered if you're a zombie and you try to inflict delay, does it not work properly? Okay. Yeah, it feels like without some kind of auto haste, I don't know how you have much of a shot at this, honestly. The fight's just way too freaking fast, so you have no chance. You need a power break, you need delay buster to work, you need a whole bunch of shit to happen to have a chance. Not sure how I string all of that together. Yeah, the delay buster is kind of a nice idea, but I think it just knocks down your moves way too far down the CTB to make it worth it. Wow, he actually made a hit. Is that Nato? Yeah. That's what I mean, it's just, it's way too fast. Way too fast. We're not even close. This is the first time where I've faced anything, including Omega Weapon, where I'm just absolutely nowhere freaking close. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Yeah, I think just like our baseline agility is too low to make something like delay buster work. So I think the whole delay angle, it could probably help me in a pinch, like just getting that one more turn in, but I think relying on it as a way to win, I'm not sure that's the strat. I was kind of hoping I could somehow like almost stun lock it, but rank 8 is so big that like people like Waka, they're just too slow. Rank 8 means like 8 times your tick speed, and that's just, it's way too big a number at the moment for these guys. With these agility levels, it's just, it's not good enough. I think Riku's the only one who realistically has a chance of actually implementing a delay buster kind of strat, but I don't want to use a warp sphere on her because I feel like she's in a useful place. So, yeah. So, where do we go from here then? What options do we have? I feel like we need to turn to customization again because the start of the fight is so fast that I'm not seeing what else we do. Hanging out in SOS Haste is too dangerous because you've got Dokuzashi that's doing like 2,000 damage when it's power broken. And it's not like you've got a whole bunch of time to be casting like 5 times cheer and 5 times focus and blah blah. So starting to wonder if Riku and Auron are the ones I feel like are kind of closest. Well, Lulu too, I guess. That are closest to having a chance of creating some kind of ultimate thing. Not Lulu so much anymore because she doesn't have a good baseline armor to use, but I feel like Auron's kind of close to where he's going to be. But for Riku, if we really want to, we can start to go down a path of creating like an auto haste plus ribbon. Death is also protected, and we'd also be able to even protect against curse. We could put double overdrive on this one, We could really just start to go all in on Riku at this stage. I mean, there's, as I've said, there's not that many fights left here. So, like, Riku's in such a good position right now compared to the others because of even this weapon that she has. I feel like it could be super duper useful. There's got to be some kind of, like, death. So, like, Pain, for example, against Dark Anima. Riku would be able to survive that. She'd basically survive almost everything. Like, from a defensive standpoint. Obviously, as long as she's got the HP, but that's a different thing. So, what you could do, for example, let's do a save file like this. I think this is going to be an attempt to really invest here. So, auto haste. Ribbon. Then, I'm also looking into this one. Because obviously Riku's overdrive, always useful. And protecting against all of the breaks. I mean, her defenses aren't that great. So if we could have a character that doesn't get broken, that'd be great. And I feel like reserving the other one for Auron. We haven't really been able to use Sentinel strats much recently. But I could potentially build him one more armor, depending on how it goes. Like break HP limit. And some of these preserver things maybe. But for Riku, I feel like because obviously Ribbon doesn't cover everything. Ribbon won't stop you getting breaks. And it won't stop you getting hit with death. Now, I think the only thing that Riku's in danger of is Doom. But that one I think you can't protect against it. So I think maybe I leave it like this for now. Leave one more slot. I'm kind of undecided what to do with that one. It could be something, honestly, it could be an Eater to restore HP more easily. Could be Auto Protect. Could be Auto Phoenix. Could be a whole bunch of things. But for now, I think I'll leave it. I think this already basically makes Riku way, way, way more effective in the fight. Yeah, I mean, you could teach her double cast and an Ultima. It would be a huge, huge, huge use of, like, 2 warp spheres here. Pretty sure I won't do it, but it's kind of interesting. Okay. So we have Riku now with this setup. And we have Lulu with the opportunity to double cast Demi. Could give her an SOS overdrive as well, potentially. Yeah, so for Riku we're going to also invest in her weapon. I kind of forgot about that. Let's do that too. I don't think I can do triple overdrive, it's too much. But even if you do this one, then you kind of forego the chance to do it again. But I think I'll take 3 doubles over 1 triple and nothing else. So we'll do that. And then the final one probably should be Alchemy, but it could be Evade and Counter as well, depending on what we fight. So again, I'll probably leave the last slot open for now. And then we'll decide later. So we've got Riku set up with that. Yeah, Lulu kind of already has a nice thing here that's kind of pre-built to handle this. So that's also good. Just thinking for Waka, should we also make him something to make him like poison proof and zombie proof? We could easily like buy what we needed for it. Well, maybe not easily, but we could. But I guess because Riku's going to be so fast here, the hope would be we'd have enough turns to at least do something, because he'd be the only one zombified in this scenario. So And then I try to swap in Auron if I can for Kazuka. Something like that. Because you can't seem to really evade and counter anything, which is a bit of a shame. But let's just go in like this. I want to see what happens when Riku has basically 3/4 of what might be a bit of an ultimate armor for her. There's so few boss battles left that I don't think we're gonna get that much more here. Alright, here we go. So in comes Riku with her super duper special thing. As a result, can we just save the... Yeah, I think we'll be okay. Well, no, because someone's going to die from Kazuka, so we won't be okay. So I mean, it's just such a slow start, no matter what you do, unless you have like multiple first strikes, which, nah. Like the difference here is huge. Literally 2 more turns. But this is the last one I can use, but for the sake of trying to gain some momentum and potentially win this fight, we need to do something. Now, let's see that double overdrive in action. Okay, not bad. Fine. Now, auto haze plus quick pockets becomes a bit of a deadly combination here. We try the full break, I think. We just go for it. It worked. And then we double cast, so we go Bio, and we go Demi. Alright, let's see what happens now. Dokusashi. Okay. Now... let's just start with this. Just thinking it is Kozuka coming next, but Waka will die from the Doom Goro. So also have to watch out for that. So we can do a mix like this. So this is a time where Delay Buster might actually be useful. Yeah, that's how you can use it to good effect. So this is the most progress we've made so far. Oh, it had a full overdrive. Silly mistake. That's the one thing about double cast we have to be super careful of, but you saw there had a much better run. Okay. So, who would have guessed that sacrificing some seriously expensive items for your weapons could be a good idea? Who knew? Okay, my friends, I'm wrapping it up for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you are continuing to enjoy the series. Please remember to hit the like button if you haven't already. I will see you for the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care.